Okay, so you guys know I moved back to my hometown, right? Well, that's where this story starts. It's been, like, 10 years since I left Harmony Creek. 10 years since, well, since him. Mark. Ugh, even his name makes my stomach do a little flip-flop thing. Anyway, I was at the grand opening of this new bakery, Sweet Surrender. Super cute, all pastel colors, and the smell of cinnamon was intoxicating. I was grabbing a cupcake, red velvet, obviously, when I heard a voice. A deep, familiar voice. I froze. I swear, my heart tried to claw its way out of my chest. I slowly turned around, and there he was. Mark. Looking even better than I remembered. Time had been ridiculously kind to him. He had this little crinkle around his eyes when he smiled, and his hair was just a touch longer than I remembered. Sarah? Is that really you? He asked, his voice laced with surprise. I managed a weak, "Hi, Mark." We stood there for a moment, just staring at each other, like two teenagers who hadn't quite figured out what to say. The air was thick with unspoken words, with memories of late-night talks under the stars, stolen kisses by the creek, and a promise we'd both broken. Wow, he said, finally breaking the silence. You look amazing. I blushed, which, at 32, I thought I was far too old to do. You too, I mumbled, then immediately wanted to kick myself. Smooth, Sarah, real smooth. We made small talk for a bit, the weather, the bakery, how Harmony Creek hadn't changed a bit, but I could feel this undercurrent, this pull, between us. It was unsettling. He asked me what I was doing back in town, and I told him about my aunt being sick and needing help. I conveniently left out the part about my disastrous career in the city and needing a fresh start. So, you're here for a while then? He asked, his eyes searching mine. Looks like it, I said, trying to sound nonchalant. Then he did something that made my breath catch in my throat. He reached out and gently brushed a stray piece of hair from my face. It was the smallest gesture, but it sent a jolt of electricity through me. It's good to see you, Sarah, he said softly. Really good. And then he was gone, disappearing into the crowd. I stood there, red velvet cupcake forgotten in my hand, wondering what the heck just happened. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about him. About us. About what could have been. I kept replaying our conversation in my head, analyzing every word, every glance. Was he interested? Or was I just projecting my own feelings onto him? Then, on Saturday, I was at the farmer's market, buying some fresh strawberries, when I saw him again. He was standing by the apple stand, talking to a woman. A beautiful woman. With long blonde hair and a dazzling smile. My heart sank. Of course. He'd moved on. He was happy. Why wouldn't he be? I quickly grabbed my strawberries and tried to make a discreet escape, but it was too late. He saw me. Sarah, he called out, waving. I plastered on a fake smile and walked over. Hey, Mark, I said, trying to sound casual. Sarah, this is my friend, Jessica. Jessica smiled at me, and I forced myself to smile back. Nice to meet you, I said, my voice sounding a little too high-pitched. They were awfully friendly. Maybe more than friendly. They kept laughing at each other's jokes. He was holding her hand. I needed to get out of there. I made some excuse about needing to get home to my aunt and practically ran away. As I walked home, I couldn't shake the feeling of disappointment. Of course, he had a girlfriend. Why did I even think there was a chance? But then, something strange happened. Later that evening, I got a text message. From Mark. Hey, it was really good seeing you today. Maybe we could catch up sometime? Just the two of us? My heart skipped a beat. What did this mean? Was he cheating on Jessica? Or were they just friends? I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. So, I did what any rational woman would do. I called my best friend, Emily, and told her everything. Girl, this is juicy, she squealed. You have to see him. But be careful. Don't get caught in the middle of anything messy. Emily always had the best advice. So, I texted Mark back. Sure, I wrote. How about coffee tomorrow morning? He replied instantly. Perfect. See you at Sweet Surrender at 10? I spent the rest of the night tossing and turning, wondering what tomorrow would bring. Was this a second chance? Or just a recipe for disaster? I guess you'll have to wait and see.